Namaste, welcome to Aaskplanets. I hope you people are doing good. So, in this video, I am going to speak about who can become an astrologer. Because, when you people are searching and looking for astrological videos and interest in astrology, you may have a thought whether you can become a good astrologer. The qualities of astrologer is very clearly mentioned in Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra and Varaha Mihir. You should read those qualities. And I have mentioned who can become astrologer. There is an article of mine in which I have mentioned the qualities of an astrologer given in every Jyotish classic. So you should read that. Few basic things I would share here that an astrologer should be very honest, humble, decent looking. He should be mature and detached. Plus, he should be very good speaker as well. And they add that an astrologer should be a good predictor as well. So I was searching and looking a lot of horoscope of astrologers while I was writing that article of mine, Who Can Become Astrologer. In that article, I have found that benefic influence on the fifth house and second house is very important to become an astrologer. Okay, and particularly Jupiter is very important because Jupiter gives the Vak Siddhi. It is the Karaka of the second house, and Mercury is the speech. Mercury is not the Karaka of the second house. Mercury is the speech. Jupiter is the Karaka of Vak Siddhi. Okay, so I have found that Jupiter influencing the second house is been very it is very repeatable or very repetitive pattern I have found in many of the horoscopes. And even Shri K.N. Rao sir says that Jupiter aspect on the second house makes one a good predictor. It is his own words. And he also adds that if Jupiter is associated with Ketu or Jupiter is aspecting the Ketu in the second house, it is much better to become a good predictor. Okay, the knowledge of astrologer will be seen from the fifth house, and the Vak Siddhi of an astrologer, or what do you say, the predictive ability of an astrologer, will be seen from the second house because it gives the Vak Siddhi. Even if you have noticed, there are few people who have a very good Vak Siddhi. They don't know astrology, but whatever they say becomes true. This is Vak Siddhi. So it is very important for an astrologer since it is such a vast subject. Okay, and I have given many parameters that who can become an astrologer in my that article. So you should read that article. But what I am sharing today here is about the D2 chart, because D2 chart or the Hora chart is the chart which shows how we eat, what we eat, how we speak, what is our Vaksiddhi, what is the Niyam, okay, are we moral or not? Whatever is associated with the second house, even your wealth is seen from this D2 chart. So I was working when Rao Saab says that Jupiter should aspect the second house in the Rashi chart, in the Navamsha chart, okay, or in the Rashi Tulya Navamsha chart. So I thought, why it should not aspect the second house of the D2 chart? Then I started looking at the horoscopes. I looked at almost 15-20 horoscopes of some good astrologers, not poor one, good astrologers, and I found that it is replicable. Jupiter is aspecting the second house in these horoscopes or is associated with the second house lord. And it is always better if Jupiter aspects the second house rather than the lord. It is better if you have to compare. And Jupiter aspecting Mercury is also one of the good combinations. Okay, but it should associate with the second house lord as well. This is what I have found. So I will share in this video that how to see that who can become an astrologer, or better to say, who can become a good predictor through the D2 chart. I will be sharing a few examples. That it is a very simple rule. Okay, first of all, the Lagna is the overall quality of the D2 chart. So there should be benefic planets in Kendra from the Lagna. Lagna should be well placed, own sign, etc., etc. Then we have to look at the second house and the second lord, how they are, and whether Jupiter is associated with them or not, or at least benefic planets should associate with the second house, second lord. If malefics are associated, then such a person is a cheat and is not reliable. He eats, all types of tamasic and all that food. Okay. If second house is good, then person will be good looking and will say good words, will be honest, and will also have vak siddhi. Okay. So we will see this in our this video. Okay, and it is more associated with who can become astrologer rather than seeing every other thing of the D2 chart. I am only focusing on Jupiter connected to the second house and whether it is giving the vak siddhi in case of famous astrologers or not. Okay, so let's see. So now this is the horoscope of Sri K.N. Rao, and I am only sharing the D2 chart. The D2 chart which I am using is the Labh Manduk D2. Okay, and it has been giving very good results to me because it has been replicable and very reliable. Okay, I can see the repetitive pattern in this D2 chart, what is being the reality. So if I see this D2 chart, you see it has Mars in ascendant, and this Mars in ascendant is very good because it is ninth and fourth lord. So Mars is very good because Mars is Yoga Karaka for this ascendant. Second house has Ketu and it is aspected by Jupiter. You know, he is K.N. Rao. He is a legendary astrologer and very great astrologer. Okay. The fifth lord in this horoscope is Jupiter again, in the 10th house. So again, it is a very, very good combination to become an astrologer. Okay, because fifth lord is owned by Jupiter and Jupiter is in Kendra in the Rashi of, Venus. It is another guru, and Jupiter aspecting the Ketu in the second house. So what we have found that Jupiter is giving the Vak Siddhi to this man. Okay, and Ketu is intuition. Ketu helps to predict well. Okay, so that is there with this Rao Sahab, and the Niyam and his moral, honest, everything comes. The lord of this second house is in the 12th house of Moksha. It is Mercury and the Rashi of Chandra. So it is with Sun, the Lagna lord. So he has not acquired much wealth also in his life and he has donated everything. So that is also we see. Okay, so his horoscope has the Vak Siddhi. Now the next horoscope is of B.V. Raman. He needs no introduction. Another legendary astrologer in the modern times. And again you see here Aquarius is rising. Aquarius is rising. Jupiter, which is in the 10th house in the Scorpio Rashi, is again aspecting the second house. Jupiter is in the second 10th house for these people. Both are legendary. Jupiter in 10th house gives legacy. This Jupiter aspects the second house where Moon is placed. Moon is another planet of intuition. So that is again there. Okay. And the second lord is Jupiter itself. If we see the fifth house, so there is Mars. Mars gives logic and rational approach, and he was very, he actually did very good for this astrology. Did not become so dogmatic. Okay, he had good rational approach to the astrology as well. And the fifth lord is in the seventh house with Venus and Mercury. So these are very good yogas. Too many planets in Kendra houses. So it gives strength to the Lagna as well. Jupiter is giving the Vak Siddhi by its aspect to the second house. Now you see this chart. This is the chart of grandfather of B.V. Raman. And he was also the first guru of B.V. Raman, the first Jyotish guru of B.V. Raman. So in this horoscope again you see it is a Taurus ascendant and the Lagna lord is with Ketu in the sixth house. Good. There is no issue. Moon, Venus is in the Mula Trikona Rashi in the sixth house. Second house has Shani. Okay. And the lord of Shani which is Mercury, they have exchanged their places. So Mercury is in the 10th house and the 10th lord Shani is in the second house. It is again a very good combination for Vak Siddhi. Plus, it is aspected by Jupiter here. Now you see Jupiter is aspecting the Shani in the second house. It is so beautiful to see because now Jupiter is aspecting from the 8th house of occult and Mercury is in the 10th house. What classic says about to become an astrologer is to one have Mercury or Jupiter in Kendra. And we can see that in this horoscope, Mercury is in Kendra. In previous two horoscopes, there were Jupiter in the Kendra. Okay, so he was also one of the legendary astrologers in last 200 years. Okay, Jupiter aspect is common. Now, this is the third generation in the lineage of this. And Gayatri Devi Vasudev, she is also a world one of the best astrologers in present times. And now you see in this horoscope that Dhanu Lagna is rising. And Jupiter is although debilitated in the second house, but it is associated with the second house. And it is aspected by Mercury from the 8th house, and Mercury is with Ketu. Okay, Mercury is aspecting from a Jaliya Rashi or watery Rashi. Watery Rashi gives intuition. So it is good for Vak Siddhi actually because Jupiter and Mercury, they are on the 2-8 axis, which is very good. And 10th house has this Venus. She is a female astrologer. Remember, she is a female astrologer. And therefore, Venus becomes important to be in Kendra. So, you see how it is connected. 10th lord in 8th house of occult, aspected by Jupiter, aspecting the Jupiter in the second house. It is all Gyan Yog. Second house is your also presence of mind. Such a beautiful horoscope it is. Okay. Now you see, it is a horoscope of Sita Ramaiya, the blind astrologer, and he was also a very good predictor. He could not see, but he could, cast horoscope with the given details in his mind, and he used to predict very well. Now, first of all, because we see eyes also from the second house, I will give you a little clue here that you see Venus, which is the Karaka of eyes, and Moon also, both are in 6 and 8. Okay, both are in 6 and 8. Moon is with Rahu and Venus is with Saturn. So they are afflicted actually, which signifies his blindness. Okay. But Jupiter aspects the second lord in the 8th house. And Venus itself aspecting the second house. Mercury is in the 5th house, being the 10th lord. So, there is again Gyan Yoga because Mercury is in the 5th house aspected by Shani, its own lord from the 8th house. So, there is 5 and 8 combination, 10 and 8 combination, and Jupiter aspecting the 8th house and the second lord in the 8th house. Also Moon. So, it is again a good horoscope to become a good predictor and a good astrologer. Now, this is another horoscope, and you must be familiar with this person whose horoscope is this and is presently speaking with you here. And in this horoscope, you see that it is an Aquarius ascendant horoscope. Okay, like Baby Raman. And Jupiter is in the 10th house, aspected by the Sun, which is making a Raj Lakshan Yoga. Jupiter, which is the second lord, is aspecting an exalted Venus in the second house. And Ketu is also there. Venus is 9th lord. And in the second house, aspected by Jupiter. It also gives Vak Siddhi to this person. And I must agree, because this is my horoscope, I must agree. Many a times, even I have predicted correct on the wrong horoscope. It is because of the Bhagya of Venus, which is in the second house. And I'm admitting it openly. And so, on few wrong horoscopes, I have predicted very correct because of this Vak Siddhi, which is present in my horoscope. Okay. And again, Jupiter is in Kendra, which is important to become an astrologer. Moon is in the 7th house. There is no problem with Moon. Mars is in the 5th house. Mercury is in the 3rd house. So you see, Mars and Mercury have exchanged their places. It is also of a combination of writing. I love to write, and I may write books also in the future by the time I go through these dashas of Mars and Mercury. So this is my horoscope, as you see here, and this is D2 chart of mine, not the Rashi chart. So how do you saw that how in the horoscope of astrologers there is Jupiter's influence in the second house and in Kendra and the 10th lord, etc. Okay, it is very very important to become an astrologer. The article which I have written, in that article I have shared horoscopes of thug also. So people who thug, okay, who cheat in the name of astrology, and you can clearly see in in their horoscope why they cheat, because in those horoscopes you can find malefic influence on the second house, fifth house, and the reason of their cheat. There is no Jupiter's protection or Jupiter's Vak Siddhi to those horoscopes. So whoever wants to become an astrologer in this present times, please check your D2 chart, whether you have capability of Vak Siddhi or predictive ability or not. Okay, having a Gyan is okay. If your fifth house, fifth lord has good benefic influence, you can have good Gyan. Okay, but if second house is afflicted, and then you cannot actually become a good astrologer. So this is a eye-opening video which I would like to share with all of you. I will meet again in the next video. Till then, thank you. Take care.